Most people who retire at 62 feel like they've timed it perfectly. But when you actually run the numbers, many of them were financially ready years earlier, sometimes as early as 55, and they had no idea. This isn't because they miscalculated, but because the benchmarks we're told to follow, like Social Security, Medicare, and savings targets, don't reflect how retirement really works. So in this video, I'm going to show you why retiring at 62 might not be your optimal age, and how to know if you could have walked away sooner with just as much confidence. I'm a certified financial planner professional who's worked with hundreds of individuals and couples navigating this very decision. And I can tell you the number of people delaying retirement out of fear when the math actually supports an earlier exit is far higher than most would guess. So let's break this down with real numbers. How your income needs stack up against guaranteed sources, the risk of relying too much on your portfolio early, and the exact bridge strategy that could allow you to step away at 55 without regret. If you're wondering whether you're staying in the game longer than necessary, this video is going to give you the clarity you need. Let's start with the big question. Why does 62 feel like the right retirement age? Most people hit that number thinking, Social Security kicks in, Medicare is close, and I've saved enough. Now it's finally time. But here's the truth. For many of the clients I've worked with, the math says they could have walked away 7 years earlier at 55, and they had no idea. So let's unpack what makes 55 feel out of reach, and more importantly, how we show you it's possible. The biggest challenge is that you don't yet have Social Security. That means you're relying 100% on your own assets, your portfolio, savings, and cash flow to fund your lifestyle. Let's say you need $100,000 to live comfortably. That's $600,000 over the next 6 years with no guaranteed income coming in. For someone with a $1.2 million portfolio, that's a 5 to 6% annual withdrawal rate. And on paper, most people are told that's too high. But that advice is overly simplified. Why? Because it doesn't account for where that income actually comes from or how your plan evolves over time. It also ignores something much riskier: sequence of returns risk. If the market performs poorly in those first few years and you're withdrawing aggressively without a buffer, you could be locking in those losses permanently, damaging your portfolio. That's why retiring at 55 doesn't just require more money. It requires a different strategy altogether. Most rules of thumb, like the 4% rule, replace 80% of your income idea, or the magic $1 million target, don't apply when you retire before Social Security and Medicare begin. So people keep working even when they don't need to, not out of logic but out of fear. Delaying retirement isn't free. 7 more years in the workforce means over 2,000 days not doing the things that you've worked for your whole life. Financially, you miss out on one of the most powerful planning windows in retirement: your low-income years. These are the years when you could be doing tax-efficient Roth conversions, managing your future RMDs, and setting yourself up for a better Social Security outcome. And emotionally, you stay in a state of uncertainty because you're making decisions based on vague benchmarks rather than your actual numbers. One of the biggest regrets I hear from people later in retirement is that they didn't take advantage of low-income years to do the Roth conversions. By working until 62, many miss the opportunity to move money from pre-tax to tax-free accounts while in the lowest brackets they'll ever see. It's one of the biggest planning opportunities that vanishes the longer you delay retirement. So if the issue isn't your savings but your structure, how do you build a retirement plan that works at 55? That's where we use something called the bridge strategy. And before we get into it, if this is making you wonder, could I retire earlier than I thought? You're not alone. This is exactly the type of analysis we do every day. And if you want to know whether this strategy could work for you, click the link below to book a time on our calendar. We'll walk through the numbers together. The bridge strategy is a framework that helps you cover the income gap between the day you retire and the day Social Security and Medicare kick in. It's not about working longer or saving more. It's about withdrawing smarter. We start by drawing from your taxable brokerage accounts. These accounts usually have cost basis, meaning you're only taxed on the gains, not the full amount you withdraw. And it's an incentivized rate typically. This keeps your taxable income low, which is important for 2 reasons. First, it could help you qualify for ACA health insurance subsidies. More on that in a second. Secondly, it creates space to start doing Roth conversions. During this window, we begin converting your traditional IRA or 401k pre-tax dollars into Roth IRA dollars, while staying in lower tax brackets. This does 2 things. It reduces the amount of money you'll be forced to withdraw later at higher tax rates, and it also creates a tax-free bucket you can draw from down the road, especially when taxes are far less predictable. It's important to note that Roth conversions are not right for everybody, and the decision depends on your specific tax situation and should be carefully evaluated with a financial professional. Now, once you reach 62, you can start pulling from your traditional retirement accounts at a mediocre pace. But here's the key. We delay Social Security until age 70. Why would you do that? Because for every year you delay past full retirement age, your benefit grows by about 8% per year. That's a powerful increase that can significantly improve long-term retirement income later, and not waste it in years you don't yet need their guarantee. Keep in mind, this could look much different depending on your own personal situation and how it varies. By now, you've smoothed out your tax exposure, grown your Roth accounts, and have a high guaranteed income floor through Social Security. Now, when needed, you can withdraw from your Roth accounts tax-free, giving you incredible control over your income, taxes, and spending. The bridge strategy also allows us to allocate your investments differently. Roth accounts can actually be invested more aggressively since they're not going to be touched for 10 to 15 years and have a longer time horizon. Your pre-tax accounts are used next, so they stay moderately invested. Taxable accounts, which you draw from earlier, are allocated more conservatively to reduce early drawdown risk. This approach can significantly improve tax efficiency and help your overall portfolio work harder for you. Most people don't think about the order in which they draw income in retirement, but it matters a lot. A strategic withdrawal hierarchy looks something like this. Taxable accounts first, while keeping income low, then convert some pre-tax dollars to Roth during the low income years, and then finally begin drawing from pre-tax accounts later while preserving Roth balances for maximum flexibility. This strategy may reduce lifetime tax exposure by tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on your situation. You might be wondering, what if the market crashes at 56? And that's exactly why this strategy matters. By using conservative investments in your early withdrawal accounts and more growth-oriented ones in your long-term Roth, we aim to minimize the impact of early volatility. What if you don't have any Roth yet? Then this is your window. It's not too late to begin converting. Even modest Roth conversions can open doors for future tax flexibility. Again, just be sure to evaluate this with a professional who understands your total financial picture. Now, one of the biggest concerns people have about retiring before 65 is health insurance. Without employer coverage and before Medicare begins, it's easy to feel stuck. But here's the good news. Under the Affordable Care Act, health insurance premiums are based on your taxable income, not your net worth. So by keeping your income low through taxable withdrawals and Roth conversions, many retirees can qualify for premium subsidies. In some states, this could reduce your premiums to a few $100s per month or even less. That turns what feels like a $20,000 a year problem into something far more manageable with the right planning. The bridge strategy doesn't just solve the math, it gives you confidence that you're not retiring too early or too late. It gives you control over your taxes and income for the rest of your life, and flexibility to handle healthcare, inflation, or lifestyle changes. Most importantly, it gives you time to enjoy retirement on your terms. So if you're staring down a retirement at 62, just know you might have been ready 7 years ago, and with the right plan in place, 55 could be your real starting line. If you made it this far, you now understand why 62 might not be the magic retirement number after all. You've seen how income needs, withdrawal rates, and timing risks can all point to a much earlier retirement age if you have the right plan in place. But knowing the strategy isn't the same as seeing how it applies to your real numbers. That's where most people get stuck. Or if you're wondering whether you're one of the people who could have retired earlier, or want to make sure you don't delay a single year more than necessary, there's a much deeper analysis that needs to happen. That's exactly what we help people do. So if you're ready to find out what's really possible for you, click the link in the description to start your personalized retirement mapping strategy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.